Okay, let's just be real for a second. The world of work is changing, and it's changing fast. You've got breakthroughs in AI, this massive global shift to green energy. All these huge forces are reshaping, well, everything. Industries, jobs, the skills we actually need to get by. So how do you even begin to wrap your head around all this? Well, that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to use the World Economic Forum's latest Future of Jobs report as our roadmap. And look, this isn't some far-off hypothetical question anymore. The stuff happening right now is going to directly shape your career, not in 10 or 20 years, but in the next 5. This whole explainer is designed to give you a clear, data-driven look at exactly what's coming down the pike so you can actually be ready for it.
All right, so let's start with the big picture, the 30,000-foot view. Because none of this is happening in a vacuum, right? It's not random. It's all being driven by a handful of really powerful global trends that are all hitting at the same time. And here they are. These are the 5 big ones. I like to think of them as these giant tectonic plates shifting underneath the entire global economy. You've got the crazy pace of tech, the push to go green, new wrinkles in global politics, economic ups and downs, and, of course, big changes in population. Any one of these would be a huge deal on its own. But together, yeah, they're creating a perfect storm of transformation.
But, even with all 5 of those in the mix, when you ask employers what's really driving the bus, there's one that just towers above the rest. And no surprise here, it's technology. I mean, look at this number. A staggering 86% of employers expect AI and big data to completely transform their business. It's the main character in this whole story, no question about it, and it's set to rewrite the rules for pretty much everyone. Okay, so we've got these big forces, we know tech is leading the charge, but what does that actually mean for jobs, for the work people do every single day? Well, the scale of this whole thing is huge. Get this, employers are estimating that 22%, that's nearly a quarter of all jobs today, are going to be disrupted in just the next few years. They call this labor market churn, which is basically just a fancy way of saying a massive economy-wide reshuffling of roles is coming. Now, part of that churn, and let's be honest, the scary part, is job displacement. The projection is that something like 92 million existing jobs are expected to be displaced because of these big structural shifts. But, and this is a huge but, that is not the whole story, not even close. Because those same forces, the ones causing all the disruption, they're also expected to create about 170 million new jobs. So when you step back and look at the numbers, the story actually gets pretty optimistic. You take the new jobs, subtract the displaced ones, and you end up with a net growth of 78 million jobs globally. So yeah, change is messy, but it's also creating a ton of new opportunities. And this slide right here, it perfectly captures the 2 sides of that coin. On one side, you see jobs just exploding in growth. AI specialists, renewable energy engineers, roles that are plugged directly into those big trends we talked about. And on the other side, you see the decline in jobs that are, well, more routine, more manual, things that can be automated away. It's a really clear shift away from just processing stuff and towards specialized know-how. Okay, and this, for my money, is the most important part of this whole conversation. Because it's not really about the job titles themselves, right? It's about the skills that make up those jobs. And this is the part where you can actually take control. And this brings up a really interesting idea they call skill instability. Basically, what it means is that employers think almost 40% of a worker's core skills are going to be different in just a few years. It's kind of wild. It just proves that you can't stand still. What got you here is not going to get you there. So, what skills should you be focused on? Where should you put your energy? Well, the top 3 are pretty much what you'd expect. AI, cybersecurity, tech literacy. No big shocker there, but look at what comes right after that. Creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility. These are the deeply human skills, and that's the key. AI can't replace these, but it can supercharge them. Think about it. Your creativity is way more powerful when you can use an AI to brainstorm with. Your resilience is what lets you adapt when the tech changes again. The future belongs to people who can blend both. And this quote just nails it perfectly. We're starting to move past this whole robots are taking our jobs panic and into a much more interesting idea. It's not about automation, it's about augmentation. It's about collaboration.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data totally backs this up. This analysis basically shows that for most of the stuff humans are really good at, things that require complex judgment, empathy, physical interaction, GenAI just isn't there yet. Its real superpower is being a tool to help us do our jobs better, faster, and smarter.
Okay, so with all of this in mind, what's the game plan for companies? The people who are actually hiring. How are they planning to deal with all this change? You'd think the biggest problem for businesses would be getting their hands on the latest tech, or maybe finding the money to invest. But nope, that's not it. The single biggest barrier holding companies back is a skills gap.
I mean, look at this. Almost 2/3 of employers say the main thing stopping them from transforming their business is not having people with the right skills. This just screams how critical learning and reskilling have become. It's not a nice to have anymore, it's the whole ballgame.
So, what are they going to do about it? Well, here are their top 3 strategies, and check out number 1. The top strategy, by a long shot, is to upskill their current workforce. They want to invest in the people they already have. That says a lot. After that, yeah, they'll automate more tasks and hire new people with those skills, but they're starting at home.
So, that brings us full circle, but hopefully with a totally new way of looking at things. The question isn't if technology is going to change your job. It is. The real question is how you're going to learn to work alongside it. That's the new partnership. The future of your job, my job, everyone's job depends on figuring that out. So, the only question left is, are you ready?